Well, hello everyone. It certainly has been a long time. Been over 3 months for me and probably about a month and a half for you guys since you saw my last episode. Whew. Kinda nice to be back, I'll say. Figured we'd start off the today's recording set, give a little bit of explanation why it's been so long and whatnot. Actually, I could probably start off right here showing you quite simply. The last time I played this game was April 20th. Ah, yes, cancel. Originally, I stopped playing because I had gotten so far ahead of myself in the recording and was so far behind in editing, I didn't want to basically end up beating the game and still have like 30 hours of editing to do. So I decided to wait until I caught up to start recording again. Well, 1 second. By the time I had caught up on my editing, it was, oh, I don't know, something like, oh, killed him already. Attack the staggered one, please. Yeah, I don't know, I think by the time I finally caught up editing all 17 recording sets, hit him, hit him! Ooh. Stagger. Oh, got it off anyway. Well, I'm certainly stumbling a lot with all this. I guess just goes to show I am way out of practice LPing. Anyway, it took me about a month or two to catch up on all my editing, and by the time that had happened, it had been so long since I played that, I don't know, it just got to be one of those things that, I don't know, let me see if I can put it this way. Have you guys ever had something you had to do or wanted to do? Or even just something you had to do? We'll just go with that one. But you weren't all that crazy about it, you were maybe a little nervous about it. Maybe one could even say kind of scared or hesitant about it. And it just happened to be one of those things that you knew that if you put it off today, it wouldn't make such a big deal. Because, well, it didn't have to get done today anyway, right? And so, you put it off. And next thing you know, a week or two's gone by, and all of a sudden, that little tiny feeling of apprehension that kind of, whoops. Sorry, this guy is immune to fire. Ha ha ha. Whew. But yeah, that little tiny nagging feeling of apprehension, it's gotten a little bigger. So you're like, well, now I really don't want to do it. So you keep putting it off and keep putting it off, and well, all of a sudden, before you know it, it becomes this massive mental wall of fuck, and it's like, I have no idea what the, oh, we're still in that mode. And yeah, so before you know it, all of a sudden, it's the last thing you want to do, even though it was something that you had to do, or even something that, like this game, you really want to do it. It's something I really enjoy doing. It just, I don't know. It got to the point where, how do I put this? I didn't want to suck on screen, basically, so, and leading right into that, or I guess kind of explaining that, this area out here, the outer deck, is probably the hardest fight of the game, the hardest fights you will run across. I mean, and I know I'm talking and making it look easy right now, but to be quite honest, about 2 hours ago I sat down and practiced this area all the way through, just because, well, it's been about 3.5 months since I last played, and like I said. Anyway. That's more or less a very kind of possibly convoluted explanation of where I've been and why you haven't had anything from me for so long. So yeah, I finished all my editing, and then had the mental wall of fuck, and so there was nothing new to edit, no new episodes to release. And it wasn't until today What is this, September 8th or 12th? I don't know, what is today? 1 second. 9th. September 9th. Yeah. Anyway. I apologize if you guys thought I abandoned you, if you thought I wasn't ever going to finish this game. I certainly intend to. And I certainly intend to get to the sequel, especially now that they just released that there's going to be a third one. Don't know if any of you guys have seen that, but it's the Lightning Saga continuation, like part 3, almost. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I've been actually kind of retweeting some of the... Oh, come on! I'm not that close. I've been retweeting the official website when it went live. Anyway, back to the game at hand. The keyword for this Outer Decks area... Weather Deck, whatever. The keyword for today's episode... Preemptive Strike. You will hate yourself if you don't get them. Arrgh! It's funny, when I was practicing this a couple hours ago, I got preemptives on just about all of them. It makes this area 100 times easier, so... it reminds me also of something. Don't you dare fire off 2 of those at once, you son of a bitch. Both of you. I know there was actually one time I tried to start recording again. I don't know, somewhere as I was getting close to finishing my editing, because I figured, hey, I'm close enough, let's get back to it. And so, by then it had been about a month and a half since I played, and I'm like, man, I am way out of practice. Let me come out, let me play the game, no recording, give it a try, see how it goes. You frickin' son of a... Gave it a try, got my ass handed to me over and over and over again. It was just sad, like, wow.
Ready for the next fight.
Which really didn't help with that mental wall of fuck I was talking about earlier. Just kind of that whole self-confidence is shot. So yes, the other keyword I suppose for this episode is patience. If you want those preemptive strikes. Because they are so very worth it, especially in the next upcoming few battles. You guys might remember the deck drones, right? Yep. If you don't, it's hard to blame you if you guys have been following along this show from the beginning. Kill him. Considering it's been so long since I released the last episode. If you don't remember them, that's fine. We'll be seeing them soon enough, and, well, I will say Tornado Kick. If you remember those at all. They are so very nasty and painful. Alright, well, that's that piece. Let's see. I was never able to find a way to sneak up on these guys, so if you guys playing at home want to use a Deceptisol, I would highly recommend it. It's not the easiest fight, after all. These guys don't really have any immunities worth talking about, and this guy has fire immunity, so I tend to go with just the Spark Strike. Works pretty well. Oh, well. What the f... Everyone just ganged up on Hope instantly? Jesus. That never happened when I was playing an hour ago. I mean, it's great they've completely left Lightning alone, but damn. Guys, spread it out a little. You're making this hard. There we go. More relentless. One thing I will say from my practicing and fighting dozens of Vikings. Remember, some episodes back where I was talking about how awesome it is to juggle them? Well, until you're a bit stronger, the best thing to do with a Viking is once you've staggered him, let the chain gauge build all the way, or not the chain gauge, your ATB gauge. Use your full ATB gauge every time, all the time. You want max damage at all possible times. The 1 or 2 attacks he might get off when you don't have him fully juggled mean nothing to the amount of pain and hurt he brings if he lands out of a stagger and just decides it's time to get even. I mean, that episode, that few back, Hubris is a bitch, that's pretty much all the proof you need right there. So, just lay into this guy. Don't worry if he hits the ground. The juggle is not that important. You really just want to finish him off. Like so. Because every single time I fought a Viking, that chain gauge, it's like within a hair's breadth of falling off every time. That it's so close you don't ever want to chance it. Now, the thing I was talking about slightly earlier, one thing I would suggest, if you guys are having some trouble, and you haven't been grinding like I haven't been, you might want to come in here, and I think it's on Medic. Really? Not on Medic. Actually I think this is the one. But let me check real quick. The others. I mean, basically what I'm looking for is the ability that allows Hope to revive us. So that way I don't have to be the guy running around with the Phoenix Downs all the time. He can actually take care of this himself. So, let's go ahead and grab this. It's expensive, but it is so very much worth it. And although I didn't need it when I was practicing, now that I'm recording that whole LPer's curse where getting distracted with all the talking to you guys, I might start to be worse. I'd like to have a bit of a backup plan. Oh, and also, that thing we picked up earlier, the first treasure sphere, the Whistlewind Scarf, very handy. Automatically charges 1 ATB slot before the battle even starts, so you know how Lightning currently has 4. I'd start off with 1 already charged at the beginning of every single turn, I think. Or is it just at the very beginning of the fight? I don't know. Either way, it's handy to have. What are you turning around for? You didn't even know I was here. He noticed me at the last second? Really? Lovely. So yeah, in case you guys didn't notice from the last time we did this fight, take out the Dragoons first. And they're really all on Hope again. I love how quitting the game, coming back, all of a sudden resets the whatever random number generated that determines who fights what. And now they're all ganging up on the healer. Bastards. One more Hope. Come on. There we go. And that was just to get the stagger. That's probably about the only time I'd recommend pulling your attack early, is just to get that last stagger, so you know, that way if he is attempting to pull off anything big, you immediately cancel it. And then, like before, wait for the entire ATB gauge, and then attack. You might be pulling off a heavy strike on one guy every now and then, but your one goal right now is to do as much damage as possible, and hope that he doesn't come out of the stagger with any life left. Like, this is what I'm talking about, how close it's getting. I nearly screwed that up. Wow, I'm so lucky he only had one hit left when he hit the ground. Alright, where are we going? This way. Alright. You guys may have noticed I turned the map off. That's mostly just because it's a little easier to see where everything is. And, well, that'll make a little more sense as we come up to these next couple fights. Because, well, let's see, there's 5 in that group. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in that group. And there's another 6 over there. So yeah, when getting a preemptive, you want to make sure no one sees you. And I believe this worked out pretty well last time. This guy right here tends to be all alone in the back. So what you want to do is wait for him to get all nice and alone. Oh, shh. Not do what I did and actually get the preemptive. Crap. Alright, this is about to get a bit more difficult. Suppose it's good to show you what happens when you don't manage to pull it off. Alright, take out the Vespids. That arrow guy is really deadly. And for the most part, the tornado kick that these guys end up pulling off, there is at least a way to defend against it. Oh, shit. You need this. Like so. Yes. You need a sentinel. Oh my god. What is it about recording that turns me into an idiot? Okay, just checking they're still weak to fire. But yeah, the tornado kick, if you catch it just in time, you can actually switch to a sentinel containing paradigm quick enough that Fang can actually draw them all off and onto her, thereby saving at least lightning. Ensuring that you can at least continue the fight and not get a game over. So typically you want to take out the guys with Aeroga first, those annoying Vespids, since theirs is more of an area effect thing, and if all the deck drones are focused on Fang, well, that's just the one person. Alright, well, that was a complete screw-up. Let's see if I can be a little more patient here. You want to try and target this guy closest to you right now. He's the one that worked out to be the easiest to sneak up on last time. Like so.